Hi, my name is Laura Crapo. Welcome to my channel. I hit my hair with a bit of this old curling iron. Decided to go back in time to 1985. And my jacket too, I guess. I'm gonna just grab my dog. Wait. I actually remember like members only. I think my dad took me to a store and like he knew somebody who like had like a inexpensive clothing shop in Montreal in like 1982 or something. Anyway, it had I think we got like members only jackets. Then this one isn't it because it's not child size, but anyway, if you know, you know. All right. So what do we got? This like curly hair thing on. All right, so I tried to do the title for this, and then like it wouldn't let me do the video. And so I put like in the title, like this artist's name starts with P and ends in rince. So I'll let you put two and two together there. I don't know why there's like a block on doing a reading on him, but anyway, I was recently, well, in April in Minneapolis. Is that it? Minneapolis? Yeah. And saw his mural and the club that was in like in his movie and stuff. Was it called First Avenue or something? Anyway, so it was like on my mind to reading on him. I don't think if I did a reading on him before, it was like years ago. But I'm gonna do another one right now. Okay. I feel like he must have had like what people call past lives. I'm seeing like these really long lines being drawn by him, like two very, which feel like long multi-life like timelines. I feel like he had like and another thing I'll mention is like I have this like octopus, a candelabra, and normally I don't have like a candle going for my internet usage, but Prince, I felt like I was being guided to have a candle, and maybe it's because he's so romantic and elegant as a person, so it's fitting. And yeah, so I'm picking up on like three women in his life where I feel like maybe because he spent a lot of time like recording and traveling and whatnot, I feel like he wished he could have spent more quality time with especially three very special women to him. They feel like flowers, like a flower bud on the timeline, like spaced apart. Please, okay, don't bark. This is my dog. You may hear him bark, or you could be a good boy and not bark. Okay. So, all right. So there's that. Okay, now you're gonna bark. So, just one second. Yeah, it's interesting. Like the Midwest. Like I lived in Chicago for a couple of years, going to the art institute, and saw a lot of cool '90s bands at Lounge Acts, and I played at Lounge Acts one time. I opened for half Japanese anyway. It's kind of like I'm gonna say impolite. Like he's very like competitive, weirdly competitive. Like sitting in the front row trying to like psych you out or like assess if you're gonna like he wants to like be the better act in the night. I guess. Congratulations on being the better act. So so like the Midwest, right? So I didn't go see his house, which would be interesting, but I felt like the vibe, I felt even when I was, like, in Minneapolis, just downtown, that the vibe at his place would be, like, really, like, heavy still. Anyway, okay. He has this, like his intellect is, like, combined with, like, love. Like, his love is obviously, like, a higher vibe, like, intelligence. But not it doesn't always represent itself like that, like, when I read people, so, um just one second. Okay. He knows he can get away with snacks when I do these videos. Okay, here you go. Okay, Prince. Like, and he had that, the passing of his child, picking up on that. Sorry about the my dog, the eating noise. Okay, so I see things kinda like in colors and diagrams and stuff. So I'm just like following the color of like the information. Oh my god. Why are you being dramatic? Okay, just relax. Are you alright? Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, so I feel like I mean, and this may seem obvious to everybody, like he kind of came in like this lifetime as like a warrior, and like warriors have like very intense like life or death kind of battles and stuff, and I just feel like he was really tested, and um of course the loss of his child was like a really heavy experience. Okay. Oh my god. I don't like okay, the subtitles of the dog snacking. Sorry. just, just do it 10 feet away. All right. Okay, I'm gonna put you in the other room if you can't be quiet. No. No. Come here. Come here. Oh my god. Okay. Sorry. Okay, let's get back to the reading. Okay. Prince. Dr. Disco. Relax. Okay. Relax. You okay? Alright, come here. Come on. Sit by that. Sit by that. Oh my gosh. There's a lot of obstacles to doing this reading. Like first, YouTube wouldn't let me post it using his name and the title. And my dog is like freaking out. Okay. Do you want this? Cracker? Here you go. What was that? All right. Okay. Did he like to draw? Was he like into making art and stuff? Picturing him drawing. There's something about like food also that's like the theme. Like about him enjoying like making certain not it's not like a chef with like a big repertoire, but he I feel like he took it seriously when he did. And I think like people and like Dave Chappelle and like people like mention like pancakes and stuff like that. So that corresponds. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna like widen up the timeline a bit. Yeah, so I see him as kind of like, and this may seem obvious to people, like that he's like a bit of a spiritual leader. And I'm picking up like before he came into being as Prince, it was like there was some planning and like some kind of like 2001 Space Odyssey kind of boardroom discussion, like what's the plan here? I'm just gonna close the door for a second. Just want to get the wheels on the road with this reading. Okay. I'm just gonna see, is it even running? Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, so we're in the boardroom discussing his life. And I feel like it's almost like he's presenting. Just I hope you don't mind the barking. He'll probably relax in a bit. It's a good like brain gym for me to like stay focused with distraction. Okay. So I see him like talking about like what he's gonna do in his lifetime to like interested parties in the spiritual realm, like in a sort of dry meeting style. I guess like you could say like another dimension doesn't have to be so radically different from ours. Kind of like the dream space is like kind of similar. I think like in this case, like when he's presenting his thing, like I feel like he's discussing how his failures are will be very important in the lifetime. As like a someone living publicly, giving life lessons, living things out so that other people can learn from his life, his mistakes. But that like his primary energy being like kind of this beautiful artistic love message, being like a stronger undercurrent that isn't like the people just like vibe on, like they can't necessarily like describe it, but it has like a big effect. Oh my gosh. Okay. I took him for a walk before this, and he was fine. He's just like vocal right now. Okay. Because there's like a dog like across the street, sometimes barking and stuff. And then there's like a bit of late night construction, some like summer solstice, like big truck delivery. So he's getting triggered by that. Okay. Yeah, so there's something about like in his house, like I guess because there's a lot of people coming and going in his house. There might not have been like not everybody was cool. I feel like I feel like there was someone there, one or two people. I'm not gonna say it's like a three-letter thing, but like that kind of vibe where it's like, are you for real or are you really on my side or like why are you here? Like what's your interest in getting this close to me? So there would have been there's some like couple of sketchy people in the house. I guess because like he couldn't do everything alone, so he's somewhat dependent. Like there's some sort of fragility in there where it's like, well, you don't want to like you live in a mansion and you have a recording studio, like you can't clean up the house and do the laundry and record and like be a rock star and everything. So like it's a couple of sketchy people in the mix. My feeling is that like these people didn't help the situation when he passed, like to put it in a very big way. Like, he might have made certain choices, but other people facilitated things to like go awry more than it would have if it was just Prince making the decisions. They exacerbated it to such a degree that it like tripped him up in a bad way. Kinda like I feel like there was this frustration with like obviously the music industry, but then he like wanted to be in the music industry, but it was like in an imperfect state at the time. And I guess like having gigs at his place like was one way to like have some freedom around that, but like you couldn't just it wasn't satisfying him to just play there. Like I know there was like a Chicago blues guy who had his own club as opposed to touring, like people who liked him could just come to his club and see him play and he could just stay in Chicago. So like but that I think he like Prince like touring and stuff, obviously. Like, I'm just trying to tune into like him like just more in spirit instead of like looking at his physical life, see what kind of messages he has or like his perspective right now. I feel like he's in a kind of like debriefing stage, even though he passed it a while ago. I feel like he doesn't feel like he's like so high up in frequency that he's just like it's completely non-physical or something. I feel like he's like if you could, when people, what is it called? When people go through like all your papers and to like whatever, like an audit. It's like he's doing like a very serious audit. I guess because he like met so many people and like did so many things. There's a lot of stuff to go through it. If spiritual life includes personal audits and stuff. I guess there's some aspect of life review, but like it feels very like more papers, more business. Well, it takes longer. I feel like there's like, and maybe these people are still around, sort of like figures of controversy in the power elite of the music industry, and that are kind of like cartoonishly like bad characters or something. Like that Prince, like I guess like in a lifetime when you're coexisting in the physical world with like people who are like living a life that is, you could say, like doing some harm to people, like on a grand scale, like someone who has a large business that is like not treating artists fairly. um it's kind of like a mighty oak that people, it's sort of off limits to topple, but like yeah, this sort of awkward coexistence of two completely different agenda. So it's not like a failure, it's more like I feel like I feel like Prince would have maybe have some regrets about like getting caught up in like certain things that were kind of like time wasters, when maybe he wished he would have been less like less caught up in like personal dramas and like staying on mission a bit more. But it's hard to do that when you're like surrounded by people and like, like if you're a hermit or something, like it's easy to stay on mission because no one's telling you anything. But he would, he had fans, he had like interviews, gigs, whatever. It's easy to get distracted. But I feel like he was satisfied with his life, but in terms of like what he was able to accomplish in terms of shifting the tides, like I feel like he felt like he was only at like 40% power. I want to get one of those dog translators so I know like what he's trying to say over there. Okay. Okay. I feel like it like pains him if he caused someone he loved like heartache, or like if he, I don't know what astrological sign he was, but like it was he Leo or Scorpio, like he gives that kind of like flamboyant, like attractive, like sometimes reckless, kind of vibe or whatever. Yeah, because like sometimes it hurts more, like if you're an empath, to worry about like I could have done better in that situation, rather than like like feeling hurt by someone is less painful than if you feel like you hurt someone. So I feel like that's his perspective. Like he really like wishes he could have been more focused and deliberate in his personal relationships. I feel like he's happy with how he made like a demonstration of his musical ability. So that's like something he's felt like he accomplished and is happy with. I feel like he would have liked to have made like more films and like more like there just maybe with whatever distractions there were, like I said, like people sort of taking you down certain roads, getting distracted. Um, like if it's like the tortoise and the hare, he was like the hare, like hopping around and maybe not finishing the race as he would have liked to if he were like he did sort of stand up to people, but like I feel like he would have wanted to do more. And maybe like if he had not cared so much what people thought of him, he could have done that. Okay, what else? I feel like his feelings were really hurt. It was like very difficult, like in some ways his life, and he's not like super keen on coming back, like maybe at all, or like soon, or like if he had a choice of like getting a job like in the spiritual world instead, like he might opt for that. Like what? Okay. As soon as I like, whenever I'm on the internet, he likes to bark, and then the moment I close this, he'll stop barking. Okay, so what else about Prince? Yeah, I feel like whatever criticisms he might have had about like his upbringing, like I feel like he has bigger regrets about how he may have acted here and there. Uh, I mean, like in terms of fashion and stuff, like I think sometimes he hired friends and stuff, and I feel like he wishes like he had really taken his vision to like the maximum in some way, and like there's something about him wanting wanting more out of the fashion aspect of his life. I mean, he was multi-talented and artistically expressive in different genres, so perhaps like he would have liked to have done more with fashion and been more specific in some cases with his clothing and design, stuff like that. Like I'm feeling too like I don't know if he loved to read, but I feel like there was like a part of him that wanted to be like university kind of like academic and like really like learning deeply about like literature, like something like that. Like certain things he would have liked to have done in his youth. Uh, I mean, maybe that's like sort of ties in with the sort of old-fashioned way of dressing, like a king or like I don't know what era, like 1700s, like whatever the whenever people wore a lot of ruffles and stuff. Um, yeah, I mean, I think the further back you go, the better the writing is. So, okay, I understand like his interest in wanting to have explored that more, like had a better education that he had like in high school or college. Because I think he ran into people in his life who had that kind of education and training, and it just sort of I think it made him uh, think about that stuff. Okay, what else? Let's think of a couple more things. I don't want to take your whole night up. Um, in terms of like, I'm sort of asking like, do you have a kind of message to give, whatever? But like, I feel like his energy feels very bruised and like, so I'll see what that means in terms of a message. I feel like he's trying to say like, if you have like a like, let's say if you look at this candle, right? It's like an octopus. Like, it's kind of cool. If you think of like this flame as like a very simple like spark of like life or something. Um, I feel like he wants people to really know their essence, their this in their simplest way, like what is your essence, and to not get like caught up in all the sidetrack like other people's opinions of you, like what like for instance, sometimes healing is hard because like you're not able to separate like who am I and who is this person that really infringed on my energy, and like can I just like see their choices and their energy as separate sort of in their own like orb, and like mine is like my own energy, and like like so you can kind of like separate from whatever painful incident it was. So I kind of feel like he had so many people in his ear and like, can you help me with this? Can I be part of this? Like, but it's just kind of like it becomes this like soup of all these different people's uh like essence, right? So it's not just like this, it's like a bunch of different ones. So good at describing. And so um I feel like he wishes for people to, if you can like just, I know life isn't always relaxing, but like let's say you just have a moment where you're calm and you just get like what is my vibe, like just in general, like my basic vibe that is like how I was when I was a kid and how now, like what is the commonality, my basic like flicker of light, like what does that feel like and to just really honor that and uh let that be the guiding like GPS of your life, and like sure you can like beat people along the way, but you gotta like stay focused. Um, I feel like that's his message because I feel like that sort of bruised, it sort of swollen, bruised kind of vibe I was getting when I was asking that question. Like, do you have advice? Like, I just feel like he felt beat up by life and taken down certain health paths that made him unwell. And perhaps if he had just like followed his own guidance and stood up to people, like would have not been like as bad. Um, because like, we're all here for a purpose and we're all of equal value. And so like it's important to discover your true essence and to honor that and to know you're here for a reason, and that like um if you are able to be authentic in your like whatever your spark is, uh you won in that situation. So anyway, that's my reading about Prince, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I have an email and stuff in my bio little thing of my YouTube channel, and feel free to like, share, subscribe, and if you want to support my channel, there's links to donations if you feel like that. And thank you for listening. And I gotta put my glasses on to know how to like end the stream. Okay.